Hey everyone, welcome to this full stack microservices course wherein we are building a AI powered application using microservices architecture wherein we are making use of Spring Boot and React. So Spring Boot will be used for backend development and React will be used for front end over here. Okay. Now this application that we are building has several highlights. So one is it is an application that is built using microservices architecture that I just told you. We also have a front end. So if you're following this course step by step, you will have a complete understanding of how you can have a front end talking to a back end that is making use of microservices architecture. And this is one of the queries that I get from my learners a lot, like how can we have a front end interacting with a back end that is built on top of microservices architecture. So this is what we'll be covering. You'll have a complete understanding of this. We'll first build the backend and then we'll switch over to front end and then we'll see how communication can be established. Then we have AI integration in microservices. So we have one microservice dedicated to do all AI related tasks, right? And basically it does the job of generating fitness recommendations based on the fitness data gathered for every user in the app. So this is something you will see when I give you a demo. And yes, like all my other courses, the course is very easy to follow step by step. And if you follow along, you will have no difficulty in understanding things. Now let's talk about tech stack. So the tech stack I use is, I'm making use of Spring Boot, Eureka Server. I'm making use of Gateway as well, which is coming in from a Spring Cloud project. So this Eureka Server is also part of Spring Cloud project. I'm making use of Keycloak over here. Okay, so Keycloak, so I'll tell you, this application is also having an angle of security, right? So we are authenticating users, we are creating users, we are doing all of that. So for that, I'm making use of Keycloak, and I'll give you a step-by-step process as to how you can integrate Keycloak into your microservices architecture or into your microservices application. Like applications, they're making use of microservices architecture. We are making use of RabbitMQ. So RabbitMQ is being used for asynchronous communication. So yes, there is synchronous communication as well in the application, but we also have asynchronous communication, and that is where RabbitMQ is being used. We have PostgreSQL, MySQL. So we'll be making use of relational databases. Okay, I'll be using any one, but switching from one database to other database, it's fairly easy, and you can check out any other video on my channel that can help you switch to a different database as well. Okay, so there are some configurations that you need to do. That is it. And without making any changes in the code, you can easily switch to any database. Okay, Google Gemini API. So yes, I had a choice over here. So since I said over here, there will be AI integration into microservices, wherein we'll have one microservice dedicated to do AI related tasks. Now I had a choice over here. I could have picked like we need a model. First of all, understand this. Whenever you are doing AI integration into your application, you need AI model with whom you can interact, right? And that is a AI model that will give you inputs, AI generated inputs based on the data you share, right? Now there are several AI models available, several chat models available along with the APIs in the market, and there, to name a few, OpenAI is one strong contender. OpenAI, the creator of ChatGPT, that is one strong contender whose APIs you can integrate into the application. But those APIs are not free. Like there is a small cost associated with it. And in my past courses wherein I have made use of OpenAI, I've got the feedback that students don't want to lend their credit card. They don't either have the credit card. So either they don't have the credit card or they don't want to pay, or they are just learning. So it's like, hey, why don't you keep or why don't you make use of free services? And Google Gemini, on the other hand, has good models and they have a free tier. A generous free tier is what I would say. So that is why I've made use of Google Gemini over here. But if you're willing to make use of any other model over here, like DeepSeek or let's say OpenAI, so you can check out my channel. There are videos wherein I've demonstrated the integration with other AI models as well. So you can explore that and you can make use of the source code shared over there. Okay, but Google Gemini is what I'll be using because it has a generous free tier, right? Then we are also making use of Spring Cloud Config Server, and Spring Cloud Config Server is being used for configuration management. So I'll be taking you through with that as well. Okay, so this is a tech stack that we are using right now. If you have any feedback or if you want me to cover any additional stuff, feel free to comment below. Reach out to me. I read all the comments, and yes, this is one such course that is powered, or I should say powered. Yeah, it's powered by the feedback that you have left in the comments of the other videos that you have watched in past. Yes, so I take feedback really seriously. I read all the comments. I may not reply to all of them because logistically it's not possible to reply to all the comments, but wherever needed, I chime in and I make sure I read all the comments. So this is the application that we are building. And next, I have the demo of the entire application as to how the application will function, how it will work. So be sure to take a look at the demo as well. Okay. Now, one more thing I want to talk about is, will I be covering this entire course in a single video? So the answer to that is no. Right now, I will be uploading them in parts. So the goal is to upload at least three videos in a week. And I'll be curating all of these videos in a playlist. So there will be a playlist that you can follow. The link to the playlist you can find in the description below. Okay, so you can take a look at the playlist, you can follow the playlist, and that is a playlist that you need to keep handy and you need to check out for more videos. Okay, so I'll keep on adding more and more videos content into that particular playlist. So that's what. So I said 3 is the target number right now. I'm targeting 3 videos a week. I might increase and publish more videos as well, depending on the bandwidth or whether I'm able to finish more in given week. But you will hear from me. And also, there is a Telegram channel. In the description, you will find the link to the Telegram channel. So feel free to join the Telegram channel to follow the updates really closely. I share updates in the Telegram channel. Okay. So yeah, do check out the application demo in the next video over here. Okay, feel free to check that out. All right, so now let's talk about what we are going to build and what all things we are going to cover. So this is what we are going to build. Okay, so this entire architecture, and I'll take you through step by step. We'll also take a look at the application demo and we'll explore a bit, but first we'll understand this diagram as to what is happening over here, and this will give you some clarity as to how our application is going to function. So first of all, here we have the clients that will be accessing our REST API. Okay, and we are going to build all these microservices. Now here we have 3 microservices like user, activity, and AI service. And these 3 microservices are protected over here and they are being only accessed by the API gateway. Okay, so the clients, whether it's a desktop application or a mobile application that is trying to connect and consume your REST APIs, will go via API gateway. Now API gateway will do the job of routing the request based on the kind of request to the appropriate microservice. Okay, now security is one important aspect of having of protecting your secure REST APIs, right? Security should be there, and for that we are going to make use of Keycloak, wherein we are going to implement OAuth 2 authentication, and we are going to make use of and we are going to issue JWT tokens to clients that can present this JWT token as a ticket. Okay, so we are going to make use of Keycloak for the same as our identity provider, and we are going to cover and set up the entire Keycloak in this particular course. Now, then you have the API gateway. So what happens is from here, the request comes in to the API gateway. API gateway takes a look at the request and it will basically authenticate the request with Keycloak. It will check for user ID and password, username, password, the credentials, and it will issue a token to the front end over here or the clients. Then in the subsequent request, the clients will present the token as pass over here, and the token will be validated if it's valid or not. Once the token is validated, the request is given a go and it is passed on to the microservices, the other microservices. If the token is not valid, then the request is stopped over here and 401 unauthorized is returned. Okay, now the request goes through over here. then what happens is there are three microservices, like I said. So one is the user microservices, which keeps track of the user related things like the profile information, the kind of user that exists. Okay, and this is an extended version of Keycloak that we have. Okay, so user profile and all the information is stored in user microservice. Then we have the activity microservice, which is keeping track of all the activities that user is doing. Okay, like for example, if user is running, if user is jogging, if user is doing jumping jacks, so we are keeping track of that in the activity microservice. And then we have AI service, which is doing the job of generating AI based recommendations on the basis of activity that is being saved against the user. Now this AI service is getting the AI generated recommendation through a AI model, and we are going to make use of Google's Gemini over here, and we'll explore the Gemini model and we'll consume it into our AI based microservice. Okay, so this is an AI driven project. As you can imagine, AI is picking up really fast, and it's important that you understand how you can integrate AI into your microservice architecture. So that is what is covered over here. If you're not familiar with any of these technologies, like what is API gateway, Keycloak, what is how to integrate AI, don't worry, everything is covered if you follow step by step. Okay, so this is how it's going to function. Now user service over here, the user microservice is making use of MySQL database. As you can see, activity service is making use of MongoDB, and AI service is also making use of MongoDB for the sake of storing the recommendations. So there are separate databases for every microservice, and this is what unlocks the true power of microservice, wherein each microservice is not dependent on each other. Okay, and they are making use of separate technologies. So you can have a team that is working on the user microservice, and they can upgrade or modify the technologies without other microservices being impacted in the network. You have activity service, which is not dependent on other microservices. Now activity service will do, now here in fact in the entire microservices architecture, there are two kinds of communication that we cover. One is asynchronous communication and another one is synchronous communication. So activity to user is a synchronous communication that I'll be covering over here. Okay, wherein if there is any activity to be saved, then that activity has to be associated with a user. So to validate whether that user is a valid and if such a user exists into the database, we are going to do a query to the user microservice and we are going to validate it. And for that, we are going to make use of synchronous communication methodology. Then whenever an activity is supposed to be or is saved with the activity microservice, it has to be validated that this so it's validated that this user exists for this particular microservice, but we also need to generate recommendation for the same, the AI generated recommendation. So the communication between activity microservice and the AI microservice is driven in an asynchronous way with the help of message queues. So here you can see I'm making use of a message queue, wherein if the activity is published or if the activity is saved on the activity microservice, after successfully saving the activity data, activity microservice is going to publish that information to a message queue over here. And then AI service is going to listen to this message queue, and whenever there is any activity or any new activity that is being published by activity microservice into the message queue, AI service is going to consume that data and it is going to generate the AI generated recommendation from the Google's Gemini server. And it is going to make use of MongoDB to store those AI generated recommendation for the same. So this is the entire microservice architecture. Apart from this, we are making use of RabbitMQ, from which we are making use of these queues over here. We are making use of config server. Okay, now config server is going to keep track of all the configurations that exist amongst all the microservices. Okay, so it's a central repository for all the configurations. And then you have Eureka server, which we will be making use for service discovery. So this is the entire project in a nutshell. The integration of AI makes this project really, really powerful. You are free to extend this project in whichever ways you want. Okay, you can extend this project. Like I thought of integrating AI microservice over here because AI driven microservice, because AI is really picking up. Now, if you are into financial services, you can test the loan eligibility of a particular person with the help of AI. It can be much more efficient and faster. So this is an example of fitness microservice, and it unlocks lots of possibilities. Here I'm just using AI to generate AI driven recommendations, but you can make use of AI to generate recipes and so much more. Okay. So that's the entire thing over here. Now we also cover front end over here, the front end application, and I actually show you how front end will interact with the microservices architecture in the backend. Okay, so that is also covered over here. So there are tons of concepts that are covered. Now I would like to just give you a demo of how things work over here. Okay. So I'll first switch over to this particular tab over here. Okay. And I'm going to just navigate to localhost 5173 where my local server is up and running. So I'm going to just go over here, and it is redirecting me to this login page wherein I have to authenticate. Now this page is coming in from Keycloak. So I'm going to say user 1. This is the user that I have already created, and this is the password of that particular user. Okay. So I'll just say sign in over here. Now, the moment I sign in over here, you can see this kind of an interface. Okay. This is not a super advanced or a complex interface. I have kept things simple. I've kept things simple because, it should be easy for anyone to develop. The crux over here is you learn as to how a front end interacts with a backend that has microservices architecture. That is the most important part. Okay. Like improving this interface and all can be done. The development can be just endless, right? Now here you can see things like cycling over here. Now if I click on walking over here, you can see the activity details. So these were the activity details that were saved, okay, in the activity microservice. And then you have this AI generated recommendation, which is generated from the AI. So you can see based on this activity over here, okay, what all activity I've published, you can see this is the AI generated recommendation that we have in the database. Okay. You can even add your own activity. So for example, I'll select walking over here, for example, or I can select running. Let's say I can have 20 minutes of running with 200 calories burned, and I can just say add the activity. So I accidentally added it twice over here. Okay. But you can see this is the one that has been added, running. And if you click on this, you'll see like this is the AI generated recommendation. So this is the entire front end. It's a very simple front end. Okay. I have not stressed a lot about on the UI and all. Okay. I've kept things simple. Of course, all these things can be improved a lot with the help of Tailwind CSS. You can integrate a lot of stuff and you can improve this, but the goal is to show you how things work when it comes to front end. Okay, so that's the thing. And whenever you add any sort of activity over here, okay, I would like to mention I have this RabbitMQ console. So we are publishing it into this exchange over here via RabbitMQ. So when you saw this diagram, it was being published to queue over here, right? So we are publishing it over here, and from here the message is being picked up by so if you go to this queue, this is a queue that will do the job of having it. Okay, so you can see here consumer and you can see two bindings over here. Okay, so it will do the job of getting the activity, and then you have this microservice over here, AI microservice, which will interact with this queue. It will listen to this queue and it will talk to Google's Gemini server and get the data. Okay, so let me actually add a activity for running. I'll just say 40 minutes and I'll say 400 calories. Now I'll just click add activity. Now when I say add activity, you can see some activity happening over here. Okay, you can see this activity happening here in the RabbitMQ. Now here, this is the code base. Okay, this is IntelliJ, and I have added a few logs over here. Okay, so here if I select AI service, so here you can see it received the activity for processing. So this is the activity it received. Okay, and then it started talking to the AI and it got the response from the AI and it saved this to the database. So when you try to access this from the front end, you will see all this data being populated over here. Okay, and in the code base, you can see like a tons of things, like there is user microservice, gateway, Eureka server, config server, AI service, and activity service. And all of this we have discussed in the diagram. So if you access the Eureka server over here, you'll see like all these microservices, all these services have been registered to the Eureka server as well. We have access to all these backend APIs that are up and running. Okay, and then we also have this front-end code base, which we will be working on. Okay, so this entire thing is what we cover I take you step by step through everything, and we learn about each and everything as to how you can make use of stuff. Now, if you have never used Keycloak and all, don't worry about the same. Okay, I also have Keycloak over here. So Keycloak server up and running, and I've logged into Keycloak, and you can see over here I have created a realm. If you don't know what realm is, don't worry, we cover all of this inside the course. And here under users, you have a couple of users being created for test purpose. Okay, now there is one more aspect that we cover over here. So what happens is Keycloak is taking care of all the users that are created externally. Okay, and user microservice is like a profile that gets extended, because this is taking care of the user authentication. Now, if there is any domain specific information, like whether the user is vegetarian, non-vegetarian, vegan, so all of that, like the profile related information, what is his height, weight, all that you won't store in Keycloak, but you can create a user service which can act as a profile. Okay, and basically it can be an extended version of the Keycloak server. Now, these two things are separate. Whenever a user is created in Keycloak, it's important that this user microservice is also aware of the user that is created in Keycloak. So we also take a look at this user synchronization. So how you can synchronize the users between Keycloak and the user microservice. User means user microservice. So all those things are covered, and I show you exact step-by-step way of doing things. Okay. So yeah, so just follow this entire thing step by step, and I'm excited to see you learning over here. Okay, so I hope you all love the application demo. Now, I have one more major announcement to make. Okay, so there are a lot of students who have also enrolled into this course of mine on Udemy. Okay, this is the course, this is a microservices course that is there on Udemy, and a lot of y'all who have subscribed to the channel have enrolled into this course. So I've update to those students, and also to everyone who has not enrolled. Okay, so there's a major update. The major update is I'm transitioning, or I've updated this course to e-commerce masterclass. So this course is now called as Spring Boot Microservices Professional e-commerce masterclass. Okay, so now it is having an e-commerce project, and with this update, this course is now 52 hours course. There are a lot of videos that I've just added and I've just published into the course, and you can see over here there are tons of new lectures that I have added over here. So you can see, for example, section on observability. It's a 3-hour section. Okay, now let me tell you why this course is different from the course that I had previously over here. Okay, so first thing is in-depth videos and making use of latest technology stack. Okay, so the previous project that I had was in no way outdated. It was not outdated. It was doing well. A lot of people learned from it, and a lot of people have also secured jobs and got better jobs through this particular course, or the previous project that I had. It was a job application. Okay, but with this particular update, or with this particular project, I aim to bring in like new tech stack. I wish to cover things in depth. Okay, and I have upgraded the video quality as well. So these are like major updates that have come in. Now, talking about the depth, I'm also adding a MongoDB over here. So you can see I have demonstrated as to how you can make use of different databases like MongoDB, PostgreSQL. Okay, so that all that is covered over here. I have like discussed a lot of things in detail. For example, configuration management in microservices is discussed for 5.5 hours. So you can see, you can take a look at the curriculum over here. Okay, you can take a look at the curriculum. It's pretty in depth. Okay, and all my courses, people who enroll into my courses know one thing for a fact: I keep on updating them. Okay, I always strive for like doing the best, and I keep on updating. There's no way like I won't be updating the course. Okay, this is one promise that my courses come with, and all the updates are delivered for free to existing courses, to existing students in my course. Okay, and the price that you enroll it with, so it's not that expensive. So in India it sells below 500 right now. You can see this is a coupon code that you get from my website over here. So this is my website. You'll find the link to this website over here in the description section, and it comes with a coupon over here. So this coupon I keep on updating, okay, and you get a coupon from the website and you can enroll at the lowest price. So right now you can see the price is below 500 in India, and in US it will be below $13 is what I assume. Okay, it's the lowest price, and you won't get so much in such a low price. You know, it's completely production grade application with Q&A support, and with lifetime updates as well. Yes, I should mention lifetime updates, because updating a course is a lot of effort, and I just give it away for free for existing student of my courses. Okay, so you can take a look at the curriculum, and I also have several preview videos also enabled. So you can click on the intro over here, okay, and you can take a look at the several preview videos that are available to get a gist of the teaching style. But if you should be familiar with my teaching style, okay, because you must have watched a lot of videos on my channel by now, right? And if you're not sure, you can check out my channel and see my teaching style. I go really step by step. So this is one major update. It's a 52-hour course now. One best thing is I have not deleted the previous project. So the old videos that I had for the previous project still exist in the end of the course. Okay, I have not deleted anything, because you know there are people who are completing the course right now, and they are somewhere in between of building a job application. So job application is the old project that we had, right? So I've kept that application videos as well in the end, so that students can still follow it and finish it. So that's something that I have over here. And here on the website you will see all the details over here. Okay, you can see all the details, and you will also get a coupon code. Okay, I would like to mention, like, this is not the end. Okay, so this 52 hours is not the end. I will be publishing more and more videos, and you can see the roadmap over here. Okay, so in May 2025, I'll be updating the videos for Docker and containerization in this particular course. Okay, then in June, I have security coming in. Okay, so I'll be bringing in microservices security, wherein we'll secure our e-commerce application, and I'm making use of Keycloak over here. Okay, so just stay tuned for this. We'll be making use of OAuth 2 flow. So just stay tuned. And I have deployment then coming in July. I have front end then coming in September, and I have payment gateway integration coming in November over here. Okay, so all of these updates are planned. I've published it publicly over here. Okay, and yes, this is a full stack course. Actually, I should have included full stack over here in the heading itself. Okay, but this is a full stack course. Okay, so feel free to check this out, enroll if possible. Okay, I also have one more e-commerce course over here, which is a Spring Boot for beginners course. Okay, you can see over here. So this course is also an e-commerce application course, but we learn Spring Boot by building e-commerce application in this particular course. Okay, so if you head over to this particular course, this is also hosted on Udemy. All my courses are hosted on Udemy, because that's where you get affordable education, is what I believe. Okay, and I don't want to deal with the hassles of having my own platform. So Udemy is the best, and they do really good distribution. So it's an almost 90-hour course, and it's a complete full stack course. So you can see over here, it's full stack course wherein we make use of React. Okay, so this microservice course is also a full stack course, wherein full stack part is coming in the future updates. Okay, but you can start studying right now. There is a lot of content for you until the future updates arrive. All right, so this is about microservices professional course, and this was students who are serious about their career, who want to learn microservices in depth. Okay, and yeah, so that's about this course.